sport of boxing is as much a mental game as a physical one. Mark Breland thought he had it all. His road to the top seemed smoothly paved. His resume included 5 Golden Glove championships and a gold medal in the '84 Olympics. He was indeed headed for greatness. After disposing of his first 16 professional opponents, he won the vacant WBA title. Mark soon realized that if you ain't in it for yourself, sooner or later, it all catches up to you.
Everyone says the next Sugar Ray Leonard, the next Sugar Ray Robinson. And if I didn't live up to that, it would never be nothing. So I just wasn't doing it for me, I was doing it for everyone else. Sometimes you can get it together, sometimes you can't. You know, boxing is a mental game. You know, I mean, physically you can be in great shape, but mentally if you're not there, just nothing's gonna happen.
His reign as champion was to be short-lived. After being KO'd in the 11th by Marlon Starling, his ability and his heart were questioned. It would get worse. 8 months later, he squared off once again with Starling, hoping to prove that the first fight was a fluke. But what the boxing world saw was a more lethargic Mark Breland.
Mark, I'm telling you, this is your whole life now. This round is your whole life. The decision is a draw.
The next few months were a roller coaster ride for Mark. He regained the WBA belt by disposing of Sung Soon Lee in an impressive first-round knockout. Was this a new, more focused Mark Breland? He thought so as he stepped into the ring against an undefeated Aaron Davis. But in the 9th, Breland went down and the fight was over. Many thought so was his career.
Some lady called me from Ring Magazine and she says, well, Mark, you want to do a story on your retirement? I said, well, you have no story. She says, why? I said, because I never retired. She says, well, that's what we heard. I said, did you hear from me? She said, no. I said, all right, then I'm telling you, I didn't retire. I just took time off.
It was this break that helped him realize that what he really wanted to do was box, and this was reinforced when he visited a tarot card reader.
We were just talking, and she was telling me things that were just happening, and then she started getting into boxing, and she said, you're not going to retire, and you're going to meet a guy, someone's going to come out of your past and teach you things that you've never learned yet. 2 weeks later, I got a call from Emmanuel Stewart.
Mark reunited himself with Stewart, his trainer from his amateur days, and has been working with him at the Kronk Gym in Detroit. Stewart's mission is to resurrect those skills and relight the fire that once burned in him as an amateur.
He wasn't concentrating enough on the left jab and was leaning in too much. Whenever an opponent would punch at him, he had a tendency to lean in instead of moving back more to keep the distance where he could utilize his height. And that's the only thing that we really focus on at this point in time.
Breland surrounds himself with positive people like Ron Love, who works on strengthening Mark's body. But he has taken on the responsibility of his own mind with the help of Norman Vincent Peale's book, Power of Positive Thinking.
It's a great book, you know. One thing he told me about is to be around a lot of positive people. Negative people draw negativity out of you. Positive people draw positive things out of you, and I need to think more positive thoughts.
His way of thinking has helped him deal with those people who doubted his heart and determination.
I can't win for losing right now. It just seems like the more I do, the more they just knock me down a level. But it just doesn't knock me down a level, it just picks me up. So the more I do, it just seems like the more they just bring me down, try to bring me down, but I'm not gonna fall. So I just realize now to just say, whatever happens, you're not going to get your just due, so just do what you have to do.
What he has to do tonight is face his toughest opponent in his so-called comeback thus far. Jorge Vaca registered one of 1987's biggest upsets when he beat Lloyd Hunnigan to win the WBC welterweight belt. That win thrust him into the limelight and gave him the reputation of being a tough, hard-punching, powerful boxer who promises to give Breland a tough time.
Jorge Vaca will be probably Mark's toughest test in a long time. Vaca's a strong, durable guy. He comes to win. He does have the credentials, and he has the mental makeup as well as the physical talent. And I think it's going to be a good challenge for Mark. But I think that Mark will win, and I believe he's going to win very convincingly.
Skeptics still feel that Mark Breland is just too nice to be a boxer. Mark feels differently.
I've always said, do you have to be an asshole to be a boxer? You know, and you can't be a nice guy. I mean, this is just my personality. I'm sorry if I just can't be arrogant and be what everybody else wants me to be.